Welcome to today's matchup of the GET Redhawks and the Viroqua Blackhawks. Leading things off for the Redhawks is the pitcher, Shayna Kirky. And she sees ball one, 1-1 the count. Ball two. We have the shortstop, Haleen DeJager, on deck with Emily Cox, the left fielder, in the hole. Called strike two. That evens the count up at 2 apiece. Swung on and hit to the second baseman. And with the 4-3 put out is out number one in the inning. And that will bring us to the shortstop in the lineup, Haleen DeJager. And she shows bunt, but a called strike one. And the pitch from Clark. Called strike two. Got Ellie Cox in on deck and Tatum Johnson in the hole for the Redhawks. The pitch from Clark. Swung on and hit past shortstop. That'll be thrown into second base for a single. That'll bring up the left fielder, Cox, with Johnson on deck. First pitch from Clark. Swung on and hit off the end of the bat to the first baseman, Maggie Berra. And it's not going to be in time. They will give that a single to Johnson. Moved Jagger to second. So Johnson to the plate. Kinley Anderson, the catcher, on deck. Called strike one. Swung on and hit, little chopper to the shortstop for the force out at third. So Johnson with the fielder's choice. And this is a 6-5 put out. So 2 outs. Cox on second. Johnson on first. Kinley Anderson, the catcher, number 34, in the batter's box for the Redhawks. And that's a little chopper right through shortstop. Be thrown into the pitcher for a single. That will score Cox. So with runners on first and second, that'll bring up Caroline Mack, the designated player. She is batting for Emma Grams, the third baseman. And a little chopper right over the third base, thrown into the pitcher, and that will That will score Johnson. That will be the first run of the game. This is a 6-5 put out for 2 outs. Anderson at second. Mack at first. Cox did score on the previous run. They just weren't quite ahead with the scoreboard. And this is number 20, Maggie Bistadu. Swung on and hit right past the second baseman. Be good enough for a single. That will score Kinley Anderson. So 3-0 the score. Runners on the corners for the Red Hawks, with number 4 Cadence Kokot. Sees ball 1. It's swing in, strike 1. Swung on, foul, strike 2. Evens coming up at 2 apiece. You'll have to apologize. I don't have the best angle at the scoreboard. The count is now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kokot. Runners on first and second, low in the dirt. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. 3-0 the score, Red Hawks. We now have full count to Kokot. Payoff pitch from Clark. High. Ball 4, and that'll load the bases up. And bring up the right fielder, Haley Giesma. Top of the order in Shayna Kirky on deck. Swung on, strike 1. Nice stop from Zitzner behind the plate. Kirk swung on and popped up to center field. That will be caught by the shortstop, Mara Anderson, for out number 3 in the inning. So 3 runs on 5 hits. 3 left on base for the Red Hawks. And we'll come back with the home half of the first inning after a word from these sponsors.
Coon Valley Telecommunications. Located in the heart of Coon Valley, Coon Valley Telecommunications brings high-speed internet, HD television, and crisp phone service to the Coon Valley, Stoddard, and Chaseburg communities. Bringing fiber to the valley, That's the motto with Coon Valley Telecommunications. Give them a call, 608-452-3101. Main Street Mobile Mart, downtown Viroqua. Stop in and pick up your last-minute fishing requirements, bait to tackle, and even a quick snack. It's Viroqua's mobile mini mart. Keep your vehicle running smoothly with Synergy Mobile Fuel. Rob and the whole gang wish everyone the best of luck during the 2021 season.
Welcome back to the home half of the first inning. We have the leadoff hitter, the center fielder, Whitney Scrady, fouls one back for strike one. And the pitch, low in the dirt, ball one. Swung on high, fly ball to right field, and a collision. Be good enough for a double. Looks like everybody's just shaken up a little bit. Like anything major, but we'll take a break and come back after we get everybody feeling a little better out in the field.
Midbeast TV and Appliance, the place to go in Cashton for your Samsung, LG, Frigidaire, and more with kitchen appliances. Watch the playoff games and regular season events with the best large screen TV selection, all from Midbeast TV and Appliance. Excellent, friendly, and knowledgeable service department as well. That's Midbeast, downtown Cashton.
When you think of a co-op, farms may come to mind, but it's the people that make a cooperative thrive. At the Chaseburg Co-op, that means everyone who's involved. Those who work there, members who do business, even customers passing through for anything from gas to tires. It's local. It's people coming together community-wide and beyond. You don't have to be a member of the Chaseburg Co-op to do business with them, but it sure has its perks, and it's free. Ask how you can become a member. The Chaseburg Co-op, your locally owned co-op.
The Varsity Funeral Home, dedicated to serving area families in time of need. Caring, professional guidance, always a must. Contact Gina Sherry for reliable, compassionate care. The loss of the life of a loved one is always a stressful time. Turn to Varsity Funeral Home, Westby and Viroqua.
Well, after a little bit of position changes, we have number 20. I believe that's Bistadu. Maggie Bistadu coming from first to left field. Not sure who took over first base. I'll do my best to figure that out. And we have a swinging strike from the pitcher, Zoe Clark, who's in the batter box. She is followed in the hole or on deck by Bryn Swenson. Maggie Barra, the first baseman, in the hole. Low, ball one. 1-1 the count to Clark. High, ball two. Well, that looked a little low and inside, but it was good enough for strike two. That evens count up at 2 apiece. No outs for the Blackhawks. Only the second batter, Whitney Scrady, reached second on what I believe to be an error. That was due to the collision here in left field. Count still 2-2 to Clark. High and inside, ball 3. Full count. Here comes the payoff pitch from Kirky. Swung on and fouled back. Still full count to Clark, and the pitch. Called strike 3. That'll bring up the third baseman, Bryn Swenson. Maggie Bear, the first baseman, on deck. Braylon Zitzner, the catcher, in the hole. Blackhawks trail by 3. Score a 3-0. High and inside for ball 1. Swung on, strike 2. Runner on second base in Scrady. Count to Swenson is 2-1 with 1 out. Pitch just caught the lower corner. Evens count up at 2 apiece. Swung on and foul back. And strike 3. 2 outs. Now for the Blackhawks, that brings up the first baseman, Maggie Berra, the catcher. Bryn Swenson on deck. Foul back. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Low in the dirt. Ball 1. Grounder to the shortstop, not in time. Good enough for a single for Berra. That'll move Scrady over to third now with runners on the corners. And that'll bring up the catcher, Braylon Zitzner, with the shortstop, Mara Anderson, on deck. Now with a runner in scoring position, Blackhawks knocking on the door. And the pitch high and thrown down. And Berra will be thrown out at second. So the 2-6 put out. will be out number 3. So no runs on 1 hit. 1 left on base for the Blackhawks. We'll come back with the top half of the second inning after this.
Brew Company, Westby's newest business. Stop in for terrific coffee and mouth-watering sandwiches each and every day. Located at 100 Washington Street. Call ahead, 634-4001. It's family owned. The Oleroots and Cades invite you to stop in.
Starting things off in the top half of the second inning is the top of the order in Shayna Kirky, the pitcher. She's got the shortstop, DeJager, on deck with Ellie Cox, the left fielder, in the hole. She saw the first pitch for ball 1. Pitch from Clark. Be a strike 1. Evens going up at 1 apiece. Kirky had a ground ball to the second baseman for a 4-3 putout in the first inning. Third pitch from Clark was a ball, 2-1 the count. Little running bunt attempt for strike 2. Pitch from Clark swung on for strike 3. First out in the inning for the Blackhawks. Bring up Haleen DeJager with Ellie Cox on deck. Tatum Johnson in the hole. Pitch from Clark. Called, strike 1. Redhawks lead by a score of 3-0 in the top of the second inning. Batted through the lineup in the first. They scored 3 runs on 5 hits. No errors on the Blackhawk part. 1-1 the count. Pitch from Clark, low in the dirt. Ball 2. Called strike 2. That evens count up at 2 apiece. Swung on and hit. High fly ball to Emily Berra. Caught for out number 2. So far, 2 up, 2 down for the Blackhawks. That'll bring up Ellie Cox, the left fielder, with Tatum Johnson, center fielder, on deck. Swung on and popped up just past second base for a single. And that'll have a runner on for the Redhawks. So the runner on first. Bring up Tatum Johnson with Kinley Anderson on deck. Johnson reached first on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Fouled one back for strike one. Swung on and hit with a nice grab by the shortstop, Mara Anderson, for the 6 unassisted and out number 3. So no runs on one hit, no errors on the Blackhawks' part. We'll bring the home half of the second inning after we return from a word from these sponsors.
Lynn's Home Center, downtown Cashton. Stop in for all of your HVAC and appliance needs from your local hardware store in Cashton. You'll find a reliable Reliance water heaters, Comfort Maker HVAC system, along with the top-rated Whirlpool, Amana, and Maytag appliances. Remember, if they don't have it, you don't need it. 801 Main Street, downtown Cashton. Bethel Home and Services provides independent apartments, memory care, assisted living, at-home assistance, transportation, spiritual care, and much more. Be sure to contact Pastor Trevor Scrady today for more information. Bethel Home and Services, ready to serve you.
Welcome back to the home half of the second inning. We have Braylon Zitzner, the catcher, leading off. She was in the batter's box when we had a throwdown from a 6-2. No, what was that? Oh, Berra got caught trying to steal. That was a 2-6 put out at second base. So Zitzner resumes her at-bat with Mara Anderson on deck, Emily Berra in the hole. In the first inning, the Blackhawks went 4 up, 3 down. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on base. We had a swing and strike from Zitzner for strike 1. And the pitch, nice changeup, just a little low. Nope, they're going to call that a strike. 0-2 the count. And the pitch from Kirky, just a little low and outside for ball 1. Pitch swung on and fouled back for strike 2. And swung on for strike 3. First out of the inning for the Redhawks. That'll bring up the shortstop Mara Anderson with Emily Berra, the left fielder, on deck. Second baseman Maddie Zuby in the hole. Comes the pitch high, ball 1. Swung on, strike. Count should be 1-2 with 1 out for the Blackhawks. Not sure if I trust the scoreboard at this point. And that is strike 3 for Anderson. So that'll bring up the left fielder, Emily Barrow, the left-handed batter, with the second baseman, Maddie Zuby, on deck. Comes pitch, called, strike one. Just outside, possibly a little low, ball one. Evens count up at one apiece. Swung on and fouled down the third baseline for strike two. Swung on, foul back for strike 2.5. Blackhawks lead the Redhawks by a score of 3-0. 2 outs down in the second. Here comes the pitch to Barra, low for ball two. Count even, or full count, I should say. The payoff pitch, foul back. Pitch swung on and caught by the third baseman for the 5 unassisted. So the Blackhawks will go 3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts and a pop up to third base. That'll bring up the second baseman, Maddie Zuby, when we return with the Blackhawks in the bottom of the third inning. But before that, after a word from these sponsors, we'll be right back with the top of the third after this.
There are a lot of good reasons to shop the Westby Cooperative Creamery Cheese Store in Westby. Try the all-new sour cream pouch filled with fresh, all-natural sour cream that makes serving a whole lot easier. Just squeeze to put the finishing touches on any meal with no mess. Squeeze on tacos, chili, baked potatoes, you name it. Store it in your fridge for any time or bring it along on camping trips and picnics. Squeezable sour cream pouches are convenient farm-to-table country goodness from Westby Co-op Creamery.
Nordic Lanes, fun for all seasons. Nordic Lanes on the north side of Westby. Volleyball, beanbag, co-ed softball, and men's softball as well taking place throughout the summer weeks. It's a triple play when you stop in at Nordic Lanes in Westby. A proud supporter of area events. Be sure to stop in and try some of their fantastic pizzas and more. Nordic Lanes in Westby. To buying or selling your home, contact Carmen Fortune, your New Directions real estate expert, now located in Viroqua as well as Westby. Carmen at newdirectionsre.com. Carmen Fortune, New Directions Real Estate, serving the Coulee and Driftless regions of Wisconsin.
Welcome back to the top of the third inning. The Redhawks lead by a score of 3-0 over the Blackhawks of Viroqua. We have Kinley Anderson, the catcher, in the batter's box, followed by Carolina Mack, the designated player, on deck. She is batting for the third baseman, Grams. And with the bobbled catch and throw by Anderson, that will be a E6 and a runner on first for the Redhawks. That'll bring up Carolina Mack and Maggie Bistadu, the first baseman. She was the first baseman. I believe she's playing left field now, on deck. Oh, this is number number 11. I don't believe I have number, no, this is number 10. I don't have number 10 on my order. Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Carolina Mack is number 10, the designated player. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. There's nobody here to correct me, and it's just me. There's only Ken Manning to blame. Swung on and popped up to the third baseman, Bryn Swenson, for the 5 unassisted out. And out number 1 in the inning. That'll bring up number 20, Maggie Bistadu, who singled in the first inning. Pitch is low and in the dirt. Runner still on first in Anderson. We'll see the pitch from Clark. 1-0 the count with 1 out. Called strike 1. Swung on and foul back for strike 2. I believe the first meeting of the Red Hawks and Blackhawks ended in a score of 8-7 earlier in the year at GET. Blackhawks looking for some redemption, but trail by a score of 3-0 here in the top of the third inning. 2-2 the count to Bistadu. Swung on and hit to first base. And she will miss the tag for the double play. But good enough for out number 2. And that will be a 3 unassisted. And bring up Cadence Kokot, number 4. The second baseman for the Red Hawks. Pitch, check swing, ball 1. So 2 outs, runner on first. And the pitch called strike 1. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. So Kokot in the batter's box. Giesma on deck, and the top of the order in Kirky in the hole. Foul back for strike 1. Strike 2. 1-2 the count. In the dirt, that'll move the runner in Anderson over to second base. And even the count up at 2 apiece. Swung on and foul back. Here's the pitch from Clark. Low, ball 3. That'll move the count to full. 2 outs, runner on second. Full count to Kokot. Payoff pitch from Clark. Swung on and fouled down the third baseline. Foul. Still alive. Swung on, popped up, foul down the third baseline again for strike 2.5. Here's the payoff pitch again from Clark. Right down the middle. Foul ball down the third baseline again. She's just a little ahead of that ball. Look to see if she's moved up in the batter's box. She's kind of right in the middle. We'll see what this third payoff pitch from Clark will be. And will be a foul ball again. Little check swing from Colcott. She walked in the first inning, reached first base, and was stranded there. Pitch again, fouled up. It's going to come back to the left fielder, Berra, for out number 3, and the 7 unassisted. So 4 up, 3 down. So no runs on no hits, 1 error, 1 left on base for the Red Hawks. We'll come back with the home half of the third inning after a word from a few of these wonderful sponsors.
Next Corner, a great place to watch the big game, host a birthday party, and much more. You can always enjoy a euchre tournament or your own friendly game of cards. And of course, be sure to get a dart team up and join the league later on in the year. Stop in Peck's Corner, just outside of Cashton. Say hi to Nick and all the gang. 3766 County Road D, Cashton.
American Family Insurance. For all your protection under one roof, be sure to give Miranda Wright a call, 634-3612 or 638-3612. Offices in Westby and Viroqua. Miranda Wright Insurance Agency with hard-working farm insurance. Wishing all the best to the area teams throughout the year.
Welcome back to the home half of the third inning. We have the second baseman, Maddie Zuby, in the batter's box with the right fielder, Kate Quackenbush, in the hole, and a high fly ball, and that's going to hit the fence and hold Zuby at first base with a almost over the fence single for the second baseman. And that's the first time she was been up in the ball game. Right fielder Kate Quackenbush up to the plate with the top of the order and Whitney Scrady on deck. Pitch swung on, ball or strike 1. Low and inside, ball 1. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Low in the dirt, ball 3. So red light for Quackenbush, I'm sure. Runner on first. Top of the order to follow. Swung on and foul back, strike 2. Full count to Kate Quackenbush. Here comes the payoff pitch from Kirky. Swung on for strike 3. That'll bring up the center fielder, Whitney Scrady, with Zoe Clark, the pitcher, on deck. Pitch from Kirky, low and in the dirt. Zuby a little scared to take off from first base. The catcher quick to recover, though. So with a runner on first and 1 out, 2 balls, no strikes to Whitney Scrady. Outside, ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Scrady, who has the red light. They'll watch strike 1 go by. Pitch from Kirky. Just clipped the top end of that strike zone. And that'll bring the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Kirky to Scrady. The payoff pitch, low and in the dirt high. And out of play. So with a base on balls for Scrady, that'll move Zuby to second. We'll have runners on first and second with 1 out, and Zoe Clark, the pitcher, to the batter's box, and third baseman Bryn Swenson on deck. Pitch called, strike 1. Swung on for strike 2. We'll move Zuby to second and Scrady to third, Zuby to third, Scrady to second. Now with 2 possible runners in scoring position, but an 0-2 count to Clark with 1 out. The pitch from Kirky. Ball 1. Trying to get Clark to swing on that high ball. Swung on and fouled down the first baseline for strike 2.5. 1-2 the count with 1 out. Runners on second and third. Blackhawks trail by 3. The score is 3-0 here in the home half of the third inning. Comes the pitch from Kirky, high, ball 2. Count now at 2 apiece. Swung on, chopper down middle infield to the second baseman for the out at first. But that will score Zuby and put the Blackhawks on the board with 1. Scrady on third. Little chopper to the pitcher for the 1-3 put out for Swenson. Be the third out of the inning. But the Blackhawks now on the board with 1 run. 1 run on 1 hit. 1 left on base. We'll come back with the bottom half of the third inning after this.
For peace of mind when you're buying or selling, Lori Holte is the professional that you're looking for. Working only in Vernon, La Crosse, and Monroe counties, Lori Holte, Eagle Title Company, can devote all her time to help you. Be sure to call 452-3160 for prompt expert coverage. Eagle Title Company, Central Avenue, Coon Valley. Scenic Bluffs Community Health Centers, with medical, dental, behavioral health, chiropractic, acupuncture, and pharmacy services. They support all of your healthcare needs under one roof. Scenic Bluffs offering a sliding fee scale program to make high quality care more affordable. Schedule an appointment today, 654-5100.
Welcome back to the top of the fourth inning. We have Haley Giesma on the little chopper down to first. And that will be good enough for a single to start off the top of the fourth inning and bring up the leadoff batter, the pitcher, Shayna Kirky. And the runner from first takes off, makes it to second safely on the first pitch, which I believe was a called strike. So 0-1 the count. Runner on second. Pitch from Clark. Bunted foul down the third baseline for strike number 2. On to the count. Pitch from Clark, low, ball 1. High, ball 2. That evens the count up at 2 apiece. No outs. Top of the fourth inning, runner on second for the Red Hawks. Pitch from Clark, swung on and foul back. And a swinging strike 3 for out number 1 in the inning. That'll bring up Haleen DeJager, the shortstop, with Ellie Cox, the right fielder, the left fielder, on deck. 1 out, runner at second. Low in the dirt for ball 1. Pitch from Clark, called strike 1. High, ball 2. Swung on, drove up the middle for a single. That will score Giesma and add the lead to the Red Hawks, or for the Red Hawks, 4-1. So now with a runner on first and a 4-1 lead is the left fielder Ellie Cox, number 9. And the throw down to second going to be backed up by Zuby, not in time. So 1 out, runner on second. There's number 9, the left fielder Ellie Cox. The pitch from Clark. Swung on and fouled back for strike 2. 0-2 the count. Just outside for ball 1. Swung on, caught by the first baseman, back to second, dropped by Zuby. So that's good enough for out 2 in the inning. But the runner, DeJager, will advance to third. So on the 6 unassisted, we have out number 2. Oh, they did get the double play. We don't know for sure exactly what's happening. We've got, we have a conference. The Blackhawks have left the field. I'm not sure where the third out came from. But I guess don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Not sure where that third out came from, but the Redhawks score 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. I'm going to say 1 left on base. So we'll see what shakes out. But we'll come back with the home half of the 4th inning. Blackhawks trail by a score 4-1 after a word from these sponsors.
Miles of Smiles Child Care Center, LLC, located in the basement of Our Savior's Church, downtown Westby, 306 South Main. Be sure to call Ashley Liam at 608-634-2833, ages 6 weeks through 10 years. There's a ton of fun and life learning experiences waiting for your child at Miles of Smiles Child Care. Premier Co-op, serving members since 1893. Your corporate office located in Mount Horeb. Other sites include Cashton, Lafarge, Richland Center, Viroqua, Eastman, and Westby. Best of luck to all the area teams throughout the season, and they wish all of you a happy and prosperous new year. Bobby John's, downtown Cashton, now open for your enjoyment. You'll find your all-time favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner items on their extensive menu. Stop in, say hi to Sam and Jolene Balto today. They're located at 913 Front Street and open every day of the week except Mondays. Call ahead 608-654-7611. We'll see you there.
And we return with the bottom of the 4th inning here from the Viroqua Park Bowl softball field. We've got the first baseman, Maggie Berra, leading things off in the 4th inning, followed by Braylon Zitzner and Mara Anderson, respectively. First pitch swung on and chopped back to the pitcher for the 1-3 putout. That'll bring up the catcher, Braylon Zitzner, with the shortstop, Anderson, on deck. Pitch swung on, strike 1. Comes pitch high, ball 1. High ball swung on for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out for the Blackhawks, who trail by 3 the bottom of the 4th inning. Low, ball 2. Comes pitch from Gerke, fouled back down the first base line. Count even at 2 apiece. Anderson on deck. Emily Berra, the center or the left fielder, in the hole. Swung on and chopped up. Caught by the shortstop. 4 out, number 2. That'll bring up Mara Anderson with Emily Bear on deck. Maddie Zuby in the hole. 2 away. Bottom of the 4th inning. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. High, but swung on and fouled back for strike 2. Oh and 2 the count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Blackhawks trail by a score of 4-1. The pitch from Kirky to Anderson, ball 1. And swung on for strike 3. So the Blackhawks go 3 up, 3 down in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We'll come back with the top half of the 5th inning after this.
Sealand's Carpet Lamp, located in the heart of Coon Valley. Be sure to stop in, talk to Paige, Tim, or any of the team members today. You are their number 1 priority. 452-3129 is the number to call. And Tim reminds you, if you step on it, they sell it. ADRC of Vernon County, supporting elderly and the disabled. 402 Courthouse Square. The ADRC of Vernon County is looking for volunteer drivers in Hillsborough, Lafarge, and Ontario. Help transport your neighbors to medical appointments or for daily errands. Mileage reimbursement is available. Call Vernon County's Aging and Disability Resource Center today.
Here we are in the top of the 5th inning. We have what should be number 2, Tatum Johnson, or 22, Tatum Johnson. And she's going to try and bunt her way to first base, but that'll foul back for strike 1. Kinley Anderson on deck. Carolina Mack in the hole for the Red Hawks. Red Hawks lead by a score of 4-1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Low in the dirt for ball 1. And hit, and that's going to be a 1-hopper to the fence and good enough for a double. The throw back into Anderson. That'll bring up Kinley Anderson, the catcher. Now with a runner in scoring position. Carolina Mack on deck. Maggie Bistadu in the hole. The catcher, Anderson's first pitch, low in the dirt for ball 1. Ball 2. And a chopper down the third base line. Out at 1, but that'll move the runner safely to second. 6-3 put out for Anderson. That'll bring up the designated player, Carolina Mack, with one away. Runner on third. The first baseman, Maggie Bistadu, on deck. Swung on, fouled down the first base line for strike 2. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Just outside, ball 1. High and outside, ball 2. Evens count up at 2 apiece with 1 out for the Red Hawks. Mack in the batter's box. Bistadu on deck. Caden's Kokot in the hole. And a called strike 3 for out number 2 in the inning. Just caught the lower outside corner, what it looks like from here. And here comes Maggie Bistadu. First pitch from Clark. Just outside, ball 1. Pitch swung on, caught by the third baseman for the 5-3, put out an out number 3. So 4 up, 3 down for the Red Hawks. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We'll come back with the home half of the 5th inning and Emily Barra when we return.
Oh, that's full service. Pull in there, Michelle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Fill her up?
With the good stuff.
You got it.
Oh, and can you check the oil too, please?
Sure. That car has no oil.
Sweet Valley Artisan and Valley Fudge and Candy invite you to stop in and browse the 9,000 square feet of Artisan Mall located in downtown Coon Valley. With more than 50 local artisans, you're sure to find your treasure with handmade crafts, collectibles, furnitures, paint, and more. Downtown Coon Valley. We'll see you there. Sweet Valley Artisan.
So we bring you into the home half of the 5th inning. Already 2 outs. They just don't make these potty breaks in between innings very long. The first out came with Emily Barra. And the second baseman, Zuby, grounded out to third base for out number 2. That brings up the top of the order, or the bottom of the order, I should say, in Kate Quackenbush. So 5-3 put out for Zuby. The right fielder, Kate Quackenbush, now with 2 outs. And she sees ball 2. 2-0 the count. And that actually was ball 4. So she will reach first base on balls and bring up the top of the order. And Whitney Scrady, the center fielder, followed by the pitcher, Zoe Clark. 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning. Blackhawks trail by a score of 4-1 as a pass ball will move Quackenbush to second. And ball swung on and hit hard up the middle. That'll score. Quackenbush moves Scrady over to second. And the Blackhawks close in. 4-2 now the score. On the double from Scrady. That'll bring up the pitcher Zoe Clark with the third baseman Bryn Swenson on deck. 2 outs. Blackhawks trail by a score of 4-2. Swung on and hit into right center field. That'll be good enough for a double for Clark and score Scrady. And now the Blackhawks are within 1. (4-3) the score. After a pair of doubles from the Blackhawks. Swenson in the batter's box, the first baseman Maggie Berra on deck. And a ball 1. Pitch from Kirchhoff, foul back for ball or strike 1. 1-1 the count, runner on second, 2 outs for the Blackhawks. The score 4-3 after 2 big runs in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Blackhawks. And the pitch high, ball 2. And a called strike 2. Evens count up at 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the Blackhawks here in the home half of the 5th inning. They have brought the score up to within 1, 4-3 the score. And that will be ball 3 and a full count to Swenson. And the payoff pitch. Hit on past the shortstop. That'll score Clark, tie the ball game up, and give a single to Swenson. And now we have ourselves a ball game. Maggie Berra, the first baseman, in the batter's box with the catcher Braylon Zitzner on deck. 4-4. The score, and the pitch from Kirchhoff. Swung on and hit to the shortstop. And the good throw for the 6-3 putout. So 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. 1 left on base for the Blackhawks. We'll come back with the top of the 6th inning after a word from these sponsors.
Stop in at Brockton Bar and Grill. When it comes to the best grilled chicken from May through October, there's no place like the Rockton Bar. Stop in, say hi to Jody and all the gang just outside of Lafarge. Delicious lunch and evening specials each and every day. Good luck to all of the area wrestlers throughout the state tournament trail.
Stoddard, DeSoto, Ferryville. It's not hard to figure out where Riverbank got its name. Those 3 communities are where Riverbank started. Now that Riverbank has grown to serve communities in Bangor, Berry Mills, Coon Valley, Holman, La Crosse, Sparta, Toma, and Westby, the same close community spirit that brought us together is still there. Friendly, personal service, understanding the customer's needs, and going the extra distance in providing service. Riverbank, local banking made simple. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Cade Clearing. When it comes to clearing out old tree stumps or taking down hazardous trees, be sure to contact Cade Clearing. Brett at 608-615-0827 or Riley at 608-632-3678. Fully insured for your protection. Cade Clearing. Call today for a free estimate.
Return with the top of the 6th inning, and we have number 4, Cadence Kokot, the second baseman in the batter's box for the Red Hawks. The first pitch from Clark, low and in the dirt. Ball 1. We have a tie ball game, 4 apiece for the Blackhawks and the Red Hawks. 2 innings yet to go. High and outside. Ball 2. Or I should say ball 1. 1-1 the count. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Swung on and bobbled down to the pitcher for the 1-3 putout. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Haley Giesma, with the top of the order in Shayna Kirky on deck. This is number 6. I don't have a number 6 on my lineup. But whoever number 6 is, she is batting for number 8, Haley Giesma. So we do have a substitution. I have the coach talking to the home plate umpire. I do apologize for not having the names, but it's really not my fault. We could blame the GET coaches, but it's safer to say that we can just blame Ken Manning. We love you, Ken. We pick on you because we like you so much. Here comes the pitch from Clark. High, ball 1. I really do hope that Ken does watch some of his work and picks up on the little cues that I tend to talk about during the games. There's a swinging strike 1. The one thing I'm sad about, and anybody who has had the unfortunate luck of listening to me during wrestling season, we'll talk about the old Brush Hollow chicken wing. And I do like to bring that up just because it makes Ken Manning smile. But there's no chicken wings here in softball. There might be later on at Gassers. I don't know if they're a sponsor, but they do have some decent chicken wings. 3-1 the count. 1 away in the top of the 6th inning. Score tied at 4. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Swung on and fouled back for strike 2. Full count. And the payoff pitch from Clark, high, ball 4. So base on balls for number 6. So now with a runner on, 1 away, brings up the top of the order in Shayna Kirky. Oh, looks like we may have another substitution. We have the GET coach down talking to the home plate umpire. No, looks like we're going to get a runner. This looks to still be number 1, or number 5, I should say. So the pitch from Clark in the dirt. That's going to move the runner to second base. An impossible scoring position. So with Haleen DeJager, the shortstop, on deck, we have a called strike 1, 1-1 the count with 1 away. So tie score 4 apiece with a runner on second. Pitch from Clark bunted down the third base line with the throw, safe at first. And that will move the runner to third. So with runners on the corners, one away, top of the sixth inning, we have the shortstop, Haleen DeJager, called. And the throw down to second will score Giesma from third, and the Red Hawks take the lead. Bad call from the Blackhawks by throwing down to second, allowing that runner from third to score. Called strike one. 1-1 the count. DeJager with Ellie Cox on deck. Johnson in the hole. We're going to have a little conference from the home plate ump. 1-1 the count. One out. I guess it was just a little conference between the umpires. So 1-1 the count. High and inside, ball 2. Runner on second. Red Hawks lead by a score of 5-4 at the top of the sixth inning. DeJager in the batter's box. Foul back for strike 2. Evens count up at 2 apiece. Center fielder, or the right fielder, Ellie Cox on deck. Swung on and hit down, foul down the third base line for strike 2.5. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out for the Red Hawks. They lead by a score of 5-4. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Swung on and chopped down the first base line for the out at 1. Runner safe at third. Two outs now with Ellie Cox, the right or the left fielder, in the batter's box. Tatum Johnson, center fielder, on deck. Little runner in scoring position. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Swung on, little chopper down to the third baseman Swenson for out number 3. So the Red Hawks score 1 run on 1 hit. 1 left on base, and they take the lead by a score of 5-4. And we'll be back with the bottom of the 6th inning after a word from these sponsors.
Award-winning service from the best small technology company in the nation. It's Vernon Communications in Westby and Viroqua. For local high school sporting events, community coverage, be sure to check out Vernon Communications Channel 14. Superior technology to our local communities for over 60 years.
The Bank of Cashion hopes that you're enjoying today's special presentation. Be sure to call Scott Wall, 654-5121, for all of your banking and investment needs. Now located at 724 Front Street, a new modern bank, yet the same know your neighbor attitude. The Bank of Cashion.
Welcome back to the action here in the Legion, or the, I should say, the Park Bowl softball field. We come back in the home half of the 6th inning. Blackhawks trail by a score of 5-4 with the catcher Braylon Zitzner in the batter's box for ball one. We have the shortstop Mara Anderson on deck and the left fielder Emily Berra in the hole, respectively, for the Blackhawks. Blackhawks coming off a big inning in the 5th. 3 runs on 3 hits. And we'll see foul ball. Count should be 1-1, which is signaled by the home plate umpire. The pitch from Kirchhoff, or Kirky, I should say, for a called strike 2. 1-2 the count to Zitzner. Pitch high, ball 2. That evens the count up at 2 apiece. Pitch low in the dirt. And that will bring the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Zitzner. Payoff pitch from Kirky, swung on for strike number 3. And out number 1 in the inning. That will bring the shortstop Anderson to the plate with Emily Berra on deck and the second baseman Maddie Zuby in the hole. Blackhawks looking to at least even things up here in the home half of the 6th inning. They trail by a score of 5-4. Pitch from Kirky, swung on for strike 1. 1-1 the count with 1 away. Anderson struck out in the 2nd and 4th innings consecutively. And now with 1 ball and 2 strikes, she looks to get her first hit of the night. The pitch from Kirky, swung on and dropped strike 3. That'll bring up the left fielder, Emily Berra. Berra popped up to third base in the 2nd inning and grounded out to the pitcher in the 5th. First pitch, Berra swung on, strike 1. 2 away for the Blackhawks. Second baseman Maddie Zuby on deck. Swung on and fouled back for strike 2. Little change up and a bobble to the second baseman for the 4-3 put out. So the Blackhawks go 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. And we'll come back with the conclusion of this ball game, the top of the 7th inning, after this.
Main Street Designs. If you're in need for a cut, color, or highlight, be sure to contact Leah Kroom. Main Street Designs may be just what you're looking for. Conveniently located in the heart of Westby, 116 South Main Street. Give Leah a call today, 634-3201, and set up your appointment.
What is it that makes you powerful? Having a voice. When you're part of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, your voice is heard, loud and clear. Because you're more than a customer, you're a member. Most important, you're connected to all the other members in our community, to your hometown electric co-op, and to the people who've been there for you year after year. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source for power and information.
welcome back to the 7th inning. We've got the top of the 7th inning and Tatum Johnson for the GET Redhawks. She is the center fielder taking the first bat. The 7th inning. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Swung on for strike one. Redhawks lead by a score of 5-4 here in the 7th inning at the Park Bowl Field in Viroqua. The second pitch from Clark swung on for strike two. Low in the dirt for ball one. Foul back down the first baseline. Count remains 1-2. No outs. Pitch from Clark swung on, strike three. One out. We'll bring up Kinley Anderson, the catcher for the Redhawks, with Carolina Mack on deck. Comes pitch from Clark, swung on, foul down the third baseline, foul. Owen won the count with one away in the top of the 7th inning. Number 34, Kinley Anderson, the catcher in the batter's box. Here comes the pitch from Clark, low, ball one. Just outside, ball two. And the pitch from Clark swung on and popped up behind the dugout. 2-2 now the count, with one away. Carolina Mack on deck with Maggie Bistadu, the first baseman, in the hole. Low in the dirt, ball three. Brings the count to full. Here comes the payoff pitch. Hit right to the third baseman, Bryn Svensson, for out number 2 in the inning. One more for the Blackhawks. That brings up the designated player, Carolina Mack. She is batting for the third baseman, Emma Grams. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Swung on and foul back for strike one. Owen won the count. 2 outs. Redhawks lead by a score of 5-4 here in the top of the 7th inning. Here comes the pitch from Clark. Swung on and foul back for strike two. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Carolina Mack of the GT Redhawks. And the pitch from Clark with a called strike 3. And the Redhawks go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 7th inning. We will be right back with the conclusion of today's ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning after this.
Cashton Building Supply and CBS Design. Be sure to stop in and see Kevin Kurtine or Courtney Kuzi for all your new building or renovation plans. It's your one stop to get everything you need when it comes to home, agricultural, or remodeling projects. Call 654-7871, Cashton Building Supply and CBS Design.
Vernon Manor Healthcare Center, located just outside of Viroqua, a county-owned long-term care and rehabilitation facility. Be sure to call Amanda Huff or any of her crew at 637-5400 and find out why you are treated like family at Vernon Manor Healthcare Center.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning. We have the second baseman, Maddie Zuby, in the batter's box for the Blackhawks.
The Viroqua Booster Club, supporting the many teams of the Viroqua High School. The Booster Club works closely with coaches and administration to assist in many ways. Contact Rob Klum, Dan Brown, or any Viroqua Booster Club officer. Get involved with the Blackhawks, supporting all athletes, every sport, every season. Vernon Memorial Healthcare. VMH is committed to making your visit a 5-star patient experience anytime you need them. Find out more by going to vmh.org/5starcare. 16 straight years of outstanding service based on Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. All this right here in Viroqua.
We had to do a little quick camera battery change. We've got 13 minutes left on this battery pack. We have the leadoff batter in the bottom of the 7th inning, the second baseman, Maddie Zuby. 2-1 the count with the pitch. Foul back for strike 2. That evens count up at 2 apiece. Blackhawks trail by a score of 5-4. Here comes the pitch. Low in the dirt to bring it to full count. Shayna Kirky, the pitcher for the Redhawks. Full count. And the payoff pitch swung on and hit to center field for a single, bounced off the fence. And that'll be good enough for a double for the second baseman, Zuby, and puts the tying run in scoring position. Zuby 2 for 3 today with a single, a double, and a ground out to third base. And that brings up the number 9 batter, the right fielder, Kate Quackenbush. Score 5-4. Ball 1. Called strike 1. Runner holding at second. Top of the order and Whitney Scrady on deck. No outs for the Blackhawks. The pitch from Kirky. Called strike 2. 1-2 the count with the pitch. Swung on for strike 3. That brings up the top of the order in Whitney Scrady. Scrady reached base all 3 times. First base on an error, or first inning on an error. Walked in the 3rd and doubled in the 5th. Swung on and fouled back for strike 1. The tying run in scoring position on second base with Maddie Zuby. We've got Zoe Clark on deck. Bryn Swenson in the hole. 1 away. Foul back for strike 2. Comes the pitch. Called strike 3. That'll bring up the pitcher Zoe Clark. 2 away for the Blackhawks. Tying run on second with Maddie Zuby, Zoe Clark in the batter's box. Bryn Swenson, the third baseman, on deck. Called strike 1. Low in the dirt, ball 1. Runner holding tight at second. One and 1 the count. The pitch from Kirky swung on and drove to second base for the 4-3 putout. And that's the game. So no runs for the Blackhawks on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We will come back with a short recap of today's game after a word from these sponsors.
The VFW of Viroqua, on the south side, supporting and honoring many veterans in the area. The Viroqua VFW lends itself to welcoming veterans of all ages to their post. Remember, no one does more for veterans than the VFW. Thank you to those who have served our great country and to those servicemen and women that are doing so currently.
Well, with a short recap, the Coulee Conference game today between the GET Redhawks and the Viroqua Blackhawks ended with a 5-4 score in favor of the Redhawks. Redhawks today scored 5 runs on 9 hits. They left 8 runners on base. They committed no errors. The Blackhawks today scored 4 runs on 6 hits. They committed 1 error and left 4 on base. So we will pick up the action tomorrow with a non-conference game. I believe the Blackhawks will play the Cashton Eagles right here tomorrow at 5 p.m. So for Western Wisconsin Video Productions, I am Carl Zuby signing off saying...